to bring clarification to the scripture that talks about Ephraim being a cake unturned. When you have a cake unturned, just think of a pancake, for instance. One side is dark and the other side that's up is not dark because it hasn't been put to the fire yet. So a lot of people are using that to say that Ephraim is mixed, or that that's proof that Ephraim is mixed, when in all actuality that scripture was actually talking about Ephraim mixing with the other nations' cultures, therefore making him lukewarm. So it had nothing to do with his appearance. Nothing at all indicates that that has something to do with his appearance, but more so that mingling with these other nations and taking on their cultures and their beliefs has caused Ephraim to be waxed lukewarm.
Let me show you. Let's see what we can find. Okay. Ephraim is joined to idols. Leave him alone. Ephraim will be laid waste on the day of reckoning. Among the tribes of Israel, I proclaim that is certain. Trampled in judgment, intent on pursuing idols. Real deal idolaters. Look at that. Ephraim was on some real deal ugly type stuff. And you wonder what happened to Northern Kingdom and why he was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, because the house of Judah wasn't even lost. The only problem that they were dealing with was with the scribes and Pharisees. They were still intact before 70 AD. Why you think the Messiah and them was all over Samaria? You know what I'm saying? Why you think they was looking for, you know what I'm saying, the lost sheep? Prime example, the lady at the well. All right then. Who had the same kinfolk as Joseph. All right then. Gotta pay attention to context clues. See? Right there. Ephraim mixes with the nations. Ephraim is a flat cake not turned over. Okay? Foreigners sap his strength, but he does not realize it. His hair is sprinkled with gray, but he does not notice. Why? Because they cling to them. They not trying to be who they ought to be. Trying to be like somebody else. Now that was what Hosea 7 and 8. Let's dive into the Hebrew real quick. We gotta quit letting these camps lie on these prophets. This not against the sister. I like that those people, you know, the watchmen. I like them. See, Ephraim with the nations, he has mixed himself. Ephraim is a cake, not dew turned. See there? That's not good. A cake. Let's look at cake. Okay. Upon the hearth. Okay. Not a lack of. Become changed. Excuse me. Converted. You know what I'm saying? Give, make, overthrow, perverse, turn, again. You see what I'm saying? These people do not want to unchange of who they became instead of who they ought to be. They need to be children of Israel instead of being like these other nations, and that was their downfall. Has mixed, has anointed, what, confound, fade, mingle, mix, give provender, temper. But basically, mingle. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with these other nations, these nations, the folk, men, nation, people. You know, Ephraim, the Ephraimites. You know, you gotta dive into the Hebrew, man. Strangers, other men, you know, have devoured, consumed his strength, ability, power. You know what I'm saying? They lost their power when they trying to be like the other nations. And he not do knows, yes, confirmation, gray hairs, and here and there, in yet he not do knows. You know what I'm saying? The ox may know his know his owner, and the donkey know his master's crib, but Israel do not know. My people won't consider. You know, around that time, Israel, you know, the Israelites as a whole was still divided. So when you look at that verse again, you know, when it said Israel do not know, understand that his people, the northern kingdom Israelites, would not consider. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to pay attention to your context clues, because this is a spiritual thing. Quit looking at this scripture as carnal. You know what I'm saying? It's a spiritual aspect behind this stuff. Go back. Go back to the conclusion of the whole matter. Very important.
Much has been uncovered, and it is clear that the Israelite tribes have been misrepresented by the so-called 12 tribes chart in an attempt to wipe them out. Our heritage is literally being given to another people and passed around like a free lunch. As stated in the book of Baruch, we should not give that which is profitable unto us to other nations. Now you have us claiming that people that have a Mongoloid or Spanish mixture are Israelites when they are not. All 12 tribes were and still are Negroes. Now, as for those that may have some European in their blood as a result of being raped by our former slave masters, we must remember that when you breed back into black or Israelite blood for more than 3 consecutive generations, you stamp out that other seed line. This was shown in the example in Whited Out Part 1, and is also confirmed in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 8. When the original seed line is interrupted by this raping or the mixing of our blood, the Most High says in Joel 3 and 21 that he's going to cleanse our blood. You know, he had foreknowledge of what was going to